Tamil Nadu Assembly had passed a bill thereby saying that for their colleges, NEET is not compulsory both for dental as well as for medical. So what had happened, the governor had, so basically what had happened, NEET, for dental and medical. So what had happened, the government had, the Tamil Nadu Assembly had passed a bill saying that you don't require to give NEET. This was bypassed by the governor. Now there are two articles which would be really important. One is Article 200 and 201. This is a guaranteed something related to the governor is bound to come this year.
This is where even recently, yesterday or day before yesterday, they took off upper limit ages for NEET exams.
Yes, yesterday they had taken out for the upper limit for NEET. Now the basic purpose is what I was sending you right now is related to your medical in India. The medical seats in India. So a lot of people are giving the papers, but none of them are generally or not getting the seats and everything. So in general, every year we are saying around 5 lakh Indian students are not studying in India, they're studying outside. 5 lakh. That's the figure. So when I talk about it, so these people, what they had done, the governor had rejected it. Now there are two bills to it. Article 200. Does Article 200 specify any time period? Same for president. What is president's veto power article? Veto power article for president.
7.
No, not 7.
76.
76. No.
76.
77. 110 is your
money bill.
111 is your veto. 112 is your annual financial statement. Right. So what had happened was they said that the governor, now something related to the governor is a confirmation is going to come. So governor had sent it back. What is Article 200? Does it specify the time period for how much time can I keep the bill?
No.
What's the minimum age to become the governor? Let's talk about everything related to the governor. What's the minimum age to become the governor?
35.
35.
You should be a citizen of India. You should not have any political
Office of profit.
Office of profit. You should not be associated with any political party.
There's no specified term, but the pleasure
Is
of
there any time given? No. It's at the pleasure of the president. Who removes the governor?
President.
President, not the state government. Now we're going to read it further because the Kerala Assembly has also been saying that we need to remove the governors because governors are acting as extra constitutional posts. So 35 years, citizen of India, should not be from any political party. What does the Sarkaria Commission say?
Sarkari Commission is center-state relations.
Yeah, what did it say about the governor? The governor should not be from
same state.
From the same state. Next. He should not have any political party reference. Political party reference means he should not be at that time any part of the political party. एक साल पहले छोड़ दियो या फिर 10 दिन पहले छोड़ दियो, that does not make political party. Is it clear or not? But that's what is happening. And what's the third thing? You need to ask that state for whether they like the governor or
the chief minister has a major say in.
Chief minister has a say, but generally now Mamata Banerjee is saying that I don't want this governor. Kerala government is saying we don't want this governor, but it's the central government or the president.
How is a governor selected?
The governor is selected by the president on his pleasure, but generally it's the central government who works under Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, that generally chooses. Is it clear or not? Now, when I talk about Article 200, deals with the governor functioning and passing a bill of the state. Is there any time period given? No. There is specifically no time period given. The governor can be removed at, like he can be removed at any point of time. Secondly, same thing for passing a bill, there is no time limit given. Same for passing a bill by the president, there is no time period given.
So फिर तो ऑफिसर मतलब जो होंगे वो सेम ही पार्टीज के होंगे ना जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ होम अफेयर्स में.
हाँ जी, वो वही होता है. वो बस एक साल पहले रिटायर हुए होते हैं पॉलिटिक्स से, उनको बना देते हैं.
It's not a necessity for them to be politicians as such. ऐसे ही किसी को भी बना सकते हैं क्या गवर्नर?
Generally क्या होता है, वो स्टेट के किसी के हेड होंगे पॉलिटिकल पार्टी के, जैसे बीजेपी के कोई हेड है किसी स्टेट का तो उसको बना देंगे. Is it clear or not?
ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं करेगी आप
आपने
सीएम
बताया था कि कोई एसोसिएशन नहीं होना चाहिए पॉलिटिकल
Association नहीं
पार्टी.
होना चाहिए, पर उस टाइम पे एसोसिएशन नहीं है, वो एक साल पहले छोड़ चुका है.
स्कैम है.
So the basic purpose is वो कोई भी हो सकता है. It is like a scam, but the purpose is it was earlier Congress did it. Now the BJP is doing it. So every political party does the same. So any person, वो basically यही है, अपने लोगों को पोस्ट दे देते हैं, बोलते हैं आप चीफ मिनिस्टर नहीं बन सकते तो आप गवर्नर बन जाओ. फिर गवर्नर क्या करता है, वो बाकी स्टेट पार्टीज को तंग करता रहेगा पूरा साल. सबसे अच्छा तो ममता बनर्जी का था. रिसेंटली द गवर्नर की जो पहली स्पीच होती है उसको क्या बोलते हैं? First speech,
yeah.
motion of thanks.
Of thanks. And last speech is also motion of thanks.
That is the end of the session. Now,
Yeah.
when I talk about motion of thanks, हर साल पहली speech होती है गवर्नर की. So what had happened recently in the case of motion of thanks? Motion of thanks is the first speech presented by the president or the governor. So जो governor of West Bengal है उसको speech बोलने नहीं दे रहे थे बीजेपी वाले. They started coming in the well. वो कहता मैं जा रहा हूँ छोड़ के. तो सेशन तो स्टार्ट नहीं हो सकता. ममता बनर्जी ने उसे पकड़ लिया, बंद कर दिया, कहता नहीं 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 सर आप स्पीच देके जाओगे. So he spoke the first line and the last line. My government will do this and thank you for the listening to me. That's what he said. So that's technically he has to give the motion of thanks. Without that, the parliament or the assembly does not start. Is it clear or not? So it's everything related to governor. I can give this in plain paper. It's going to come with me because every issues are coming related to the governor. So what is Article 200? The governor can withhold his assent. This is more like a veto power. So याद रखो 111 plus 89. Anything with the president plus 89 is for the governors. President के article याद रखने हैं, उसके साथ 89 add कर देना. Okay, so 200 is related to the governor. He can withhold his assent. He can return the bill back for reconsideration, may grant assent, or reserve consideration of the president any bill passed by the state legislature and presented to him. Assent. अब सबसे important क्या है? Is there any time period given?
No.
So he can keep the bill for as much period as possible. Best example is Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. वो हर बिल को बोलता है वो फाइल ही नहीं है मेरे पास तो मैं साइन कैसे करूं? Is it clear? Now, Article 200 enables the governor to return a bill that is not a money bill with message requesting the house or the houses if there's any upper chamber to reconsider the bill or provision. अगर वापस करता है. What are the 4 things that the governor can do? Sign the bill, withhold, reconsideration, or give it to the
President.
Is there any time period given? No. The house will have to reconsider. But अगर वापस वो bill pass कर देते हैं, the governor has to
sign it.
Sign
Same
it.
as the president.
Sorry?
It's the same as the president.
Yes. But if he gives a bill to the president says reconsider it, the assembly again passes it, the president can still reject it. In case of state.
Okay.
In case of state. Is it clear or not? The governor shall not withhold any assent thereof. The governor shall reserve for the consideration of the president any bill which is the opinion of the governor would, if it become a law, so derogate the powers of the high courts, so endangers the court in the constitution designed to fill. अगर कहीं पे भी हाई कोर्ट्स की पावर कम हो रही है तो आप किसको भेज सकते हो? प्रेसिडेंट को. Is it clear or not? Now, Article 201. Provisions related to the bill reserved for the consideration of the president. Article 201, when a bill is reserved by a governor for the consideration of the president shall declare either his assent to the bill or he will withhold his bill. The president may also direct the governor to return the bill where the bill is not a money bill with a message. When a bill is so returned, the house shall reconsider it accordingly within a period of how much time?
6 months.
6 months from the date of receipt of such message, and if again passed by the house, with or without amendment, it shall be presented again to the president. But then president can still reject this bill. If it is sent directly, constitution delays provision related to the bill reserved for the consideration of the president. Now, which are these bills? Anything to do with the center state law. You can send that directly to the president. Like in Delhi, there's complete ambiguity. You do not know which is for what. It has to be done by either lieutenant governor or by the government. So what happens? Every bill is sent to the president. Who decides? Is it the president who decides?
Decides what?
The state.
About the state bills. Who decides? Or who advises the president?
Council of Ministry.
Ministry of Home Affairs. It is they who decide the president. Not the Defense Ministry, not the Council of Ministers, Ministry of
Home Affairs.
Hence, there is no time limit that is fixed within the president should take a decision. There have been instances where the bills have been pending with the president for a period of 6 years or more. Because he says the file has not come. Now, similarly, when I say again, now let's repeat about the governor. Governor is a constitutional office. Is there any qualification?
No.
No. What is the minimum age?
35.
35. Should be a citizen of India. Should not hold any office of profit. What does office of profit mean?
Any government job, like he can't be an officer in the Indian Army and be a
Yes.
governor at the same time.
And let me also send you an example of the bills, like say, for example. Okay. Now, secondly, what is the minimum age?
35.
So what if the person has retired from his position? Can he still be?
He
Be
can.
eligible?
Then he can. If you're retired, you're allowed.
Only IS officers are the ones who can quit their jobs and go for ministerial things. And then
Yes,
if they don't get
yes. And if they do not IS, IPS, if they do not
IPS
get,
as well.
sorry,
IPS as well. I thought it was
Yes.
only IS officers.
no, any person in the IS, IPS can resign from the job at that point of time while fighting elections. And if they lose also, they can then rejoin the services. That is only for IS and IPS officers. Allow removal of the governors. Now, what is Article 200 and 201? 201 is related to president, bills reserved for the president related to center-state relationship. 200 is governor. He can either sign the bill, B,
Or
send it back, withhold, and D is
save it for the president.
consideration for president. But only in case where the high courts are being influenced. Laws related to the high courts. Any doubts with this or not?
No.
Okay. Another thing, what does the Sarkaria Commission has to say about the governor's 3 points?
Governor should not be from the same state. Should not be from a political party.
Yes. And you need to ask the chief minister of that state whether he agrees
Yes,
with the governor.
approves or not. Approval from the state government.
Okay, now the Kerala government questioned the constitutional need for governor's office. The Kerala government has repeated. Iska Kerala government ka kya issue tha related to the governor? Vice Chancellor ka. Because Vice Chancellor was reappointed. Is it clear or not?
Yeah.
The cabinet sought national legislation to introduce a resolution assembly demanding the dismissal of an erring governor from the post. The government suggested that Centre should divest the governor of statutory posts, including the chancellor. The Centre should keep the state in loop while appointing the governors. It should empower legislatures to impeach the governor if lawmakers find them wanting unconstitutionally. But this is something that's never going to be passed because the central government will tend to remain powerful. The Centre should limit the discretionary powers of the governor on legislative
Matter.
Now, appointed, the apparent politicization of the governor appointment process has been extensively criticized. It is observed that ex-politicians with significant ties with the ruling party, the Centre, are generally appointed as the head of the states, which is true. Kalyan Singh was also appointed as the governor. You have the Muhammad Arif Khan is the governor of Kerala, and he is somebody who is associated with BJP in UP for a long time. Tenure. What is the tenure of a governor?
There's no specific tenure.
Tenure, but he only, what is the thing? He only stays till the pleasure of the president. Who president is bound by the advice of the Council of Ministers headed by the
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. The governor is a puppet in the hand of the
President.
Centre government. Discretionary powers. Article 163 of the Constitution recognizes the discretionary powers of the governors. What would be the discretionary powers of the president?
The same as the governor?
74 article. So I told you anything. What do you do?
Add 89.
89. Is it clear or not? The power has been widely
Like if the president's tenure is completed, then will they appoint new governor?
No, the governor will stay. The governor will stay. Whenever the central government will change, I can guarantee you because the election they will not lose it. Knuckle, microphone, please. Okay. The central government is not going to lose the elections, but if in 2029, if they lose the central government, you will see change in governors that very day itself, in a month itself, all the governors, provided the other government comes in power. It is a process which has been happening ever since. Right? The governor has been to dismiss the popular elected state governments. Article 163. Governor क्या कर देता है? Governor बोलता है assembly. Best example is उत्तराखंड में हुआ था. इसको overrule किया था High Court ने. He said without purposes you cannot do it. Now we come to economy. Because I'm saying governor is a confirmed question. I can guarantee this. Economy, ICRISAT. The Prime Minister addressed. Where is ICRISAT's office? It basically meets Indian International Crops Research Institute of Semi-Arid Tropics. Where is it? In Hyderabad. Semi-arid, and it's basically for semi-arid and arid areas. So what do I mean with semi-arid? It's more like the desert areas and everything. Can you give me the classification of semi-arid and arid? Köppen climates?
W1 is a CW. B, sorry, BSH and BWH.
BSH is semi-arid, BW is desert, especially in tropics. If it's temperates, so he's talking about in these areas, what are the crops to be grown? Its head office is where? One of the head offices in Hyderabad. It was founded in 1972 by a constituent organization convened by the Ford and Rockefeller Foundation. Have you heard of Rockefeller? US में majority colleges इसके हैं. And he was one of the richest man at some point of time because they had a lot of fuel, like the oil when the surge came through. Rockefeller was one of the organization or the persons who had a lot of this. And he basically, when he was a philanthropist, the richest man at some time, and he opened a large number of colleges. Okay, it's a charter signed by the FAO and UNDP. It is managed by full-term Director General functioning under the overall guidance of international government organization. Who gave the speech here? ICRISAT में Prime Minister. It's a 50th. Because 1972 में बना था. इसका center कहाँ पे है? Hyderabad. It is basically to look into semi-arid and arid areas के crops. कितना पानी चाहिए होता है? What are the crops that you can grow? The hybrid varieties. Is it clear or not? What is something that the government of India is doing to promote agriculture, especially in arid and semi-arid areas? What is the latest current affairs scheme that they've started? Anyone? Something related to technology.
Drones.
They started with drones. What are the purposes of drones? We'll be doing that. What is the purpose, by the way, of drones?
Provide water.
Fertilizer and everything.
Fertilizer can be thrown. Why is fertilizer required to be thrown? Because generally, if a human interferes with it, it has an effect on his body, right? It put chemicals. Secondly, insecticides फेंकने के लिए. कहाँ पे use किया गया था ये? Recently, drones in India for the first time. Insecticides फेंकने के लिए. महाराष्ट्र. राजस्थान में कौन सा अटैक हुआ था?
सर वो पाकिस्तान से जो आए थे कीड़े क्या नाम थे?
ये आए थे when we were beginning of lockdown.
Locust
attack, yes.
They were saying that they eat.
Kidney attack.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people said that a few of them get together and eat men also.
No, it does
I
not.
heard
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
Kidney
I
attack.
even hardly saw them being in Rajasthan.
Okay, so you get to see, so they all came through, and that's the locust attack. So what they did in Maharashtra, they actually sprayed it. Then again, human interference is not required. What else is the purpose is irrigation. How else can we use drones? It's a very interesting thing. How many drones have been recently launched by Prime Minister Modi? 100 drones this year. एक साथ agriculture की. Secondly, a drone will click an image, infrared image. So crop के जो अच्छी crop होती है वो green light emit करती है, जो नहीं होती वो does not. So you are able to identify which crop has been affected, which has not been affected. Is it clear or not? Over a large area. So that is how it generally does help. Okay. Chalo. The India's first water taxi service. कहाँ पे आ चुकी है ये? It was in Belapur and Ferry Wharf. It is a center state which will currently operate in 3 routes: Belapur to Ferry Wharf, Belapur to Elephanta Caves, Belafare to GNPT, Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust. 7 speedboats, each with a capacity of 10 to 30 passengers, and 1 catamaran with a capacity of 50 to 60 will run. Where has it been launched? Belapur. Is it clear or not?
Yeah.
It should have been started somewhere else 5 years
Sir,
back.
Belapur वो नई मुंबई वाला?
Yes. Belapur to Ferry Wharf, Belapur to Elephanta Caves, Belapur to Jawaharlal Nehru Port. First water taxis. National Agriculture Disaster Management Scheme. The Indian Council. So where is this? This again I'm repeating. Where is it started? Belapur. 3 routes are there. Is it clear?
Ferry Wharf, Jawaharlal Nehru Port,
Jawaharlal Nehru Port and Elephanta Caves. 7 plus 1. The National Agriculture Disaster Management Scheme. The Indian Council of Agriculture Research, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare have launched a flagship network called the National Innovation in Climate Research Resilient Agriculture, NICRA, in line with National Agriculture Disaster Management Scheme. Basically, what they're saying is every year the climate is changing and the crops are affected accordingly. Yes or no? So what are we supposed to do? Thereby the crops become climate resilient practice of agriculture along with technology dissemination. Like, what are the things are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to adapt? How are we supposed to see the unusual climatic changes? Any doubts with this or not?
No.
Okay. PM Divine. What is PM Divine? It is basically for the Northeast. Yaad rakh lo. Divine will be implemented through Northeastern Council. Who's the head of the Northeastern Council? Again, Prime Minister. It's basically in spirit of what is Gati Shakti? Anybody? What is Gati Shakti? And it is something that we are going to discuss in the budget. It is basically talking about what?
Vande Bharat trains.
No, it is basically infrastructure. Infrastructure means jaldi se log transport ho sake. Jaldi se you're creating national highways, you're going to create national ports, you're going to create railway networks. Is it clear or not? Faster movement of men and people, and social development projects based on felt needs of Northeast. This will enable livelihood activities for the youth and women, filling the gaps in various sectors, the minister had said. However, it will be suitable for existing central and state schemes, while the central ministries may also pose the candidate projects. Priority will be given to those by the states because it's more for the states. So what is the funding here? 90, 10. PM Divine. Is it clear or not? What is this? Saffron Bowl project. Where is it? Kesar. So basically, the government of India is now trying to push forward this. It's a perennial herb, belongs to the iris family, and the most expensive species in the world, known for its aroma, color, and used for flowering, coloring, medicinal, pharmaceutical industries. What is the purpose of this, by the way? Advantages of using saffron. Health benefits. It's used in aroma industry, perfumes.
Medical.
Medical also. And it generally boosts for your health indicators. If you have it with milk, they say it boosts your immunity. So which species does it belong to? Iris family. Iridokia. Where is it grown, by the way? 2 states, major.
Rajasthan?
Rajasthan?
No, never mind.
Jammu Kashmir.
Yeah, पौधे नहीं
The hilly regions.
This area is kind of pretty heavily inhabited by terrorists. Parampur. This is what my other candidates, students have got from Parampur. Saffron. It is an area, the entire area where you have this infiltration and you have this. Now, where does it grow? It's very Where does it grow? Which kind of soil does it grow?
Glacier deposits. Bookyard.
Arevas, which are glacial deposits. Now, this soil is acidic, especially. You have to understand acidic, elevation of 1500 to 2500 meters. Saffron is grown primarily in sunken and dry places with an elevation ranging from 1500 to this. Gravelly soil कौन सी है आपकी? जो बताया था Karevas. Is also excellent for saffron. What kind of soil is required? A heavy clay soil is not. Which is the best soil?
Acidic soil.
Okay, where is it grown? It requires less water than other species. The soil should be slightly damp, but not completely
Right.
dry. It's mostly cultivated in temperate regions such as Jammu, Kashmir, and
Himachal Pradesh.
Pampore. This is the area the entire terrorism is there. Pampore district. So that's where you have the saffron belt, and followed by Budgam, Srinagar, and Kishtwar.
So where is Pampore? It's
Pampore is
in
Jammu Kashmir.
Jammu Kashmir. Okay.
It's basically in Jammu Kashmir. This is the entire
Kashmir area, right?
Southeast Kashmir.
Hmm.
Southeast of Kashmir. Exact Pampore is that. So you have. हाँ, it's India की side पे है, पर ये सबसे ज़्यादा वो है terrorist hit area. Pampore. Pampore Saffron Heritage of Kashmir is one of the globally important agriculture heritage systems, recognized sites. Uses and benefits: medicinal, traditionally consumed, perfumes and cosmetics.
सर साउथ ईस्ट में है तो इन्फिल्ट्रेशन कौन करता है? चाइनीज?
चाइनीज नहीं आते, साउथ ईस्ट में ही है, but they generally cross over border. यहाँ पे सबसे ज़्यादा वो है, like up and down situation. The valley
भी पूरा घूम के आना पड़ेगा ना उस साइड तो.
तो वो पूरा आते हैं ना, they completely come through. कश्मीर में कभी बहुत कम होती है infiltration. They don't want the people to get affected too much. And now with the entire thing, it's the people, like the citizens themselves, who picked it up. Right now, it's gone down a bit, but it's the citizens who are now taking up weapons.
Okay.
Okay. Pampore, as I said, this would be the one. Towns of export excellence. 39 towns. Kitna revenue होना चाहिए per generated? 750 crores. अगर आपके टाउन में 750 crores of revenue generate हो रहा है, वो भी किस चीज से? कोई भी चीज से. Like, can you give me an example of this? Jalandhar for sports goods.
Sports.
So what they did, they said there are 39 towns which have been recognized. How much revenue? 750 crores or more would be recognized in towns of export excellence based on the potential of growth in exports. So what are you trying to do with this? Recognized association of units and towns of export excellence can avail financial assistance under the Market Access Initiative scheme. You get loans at cheaper thing. The assistance will be provided by export promotion project for marketing, capacity building, and technical
Services.
So 750 plus crores already chal raha hai. So they say, why can't we boost it up further? How many towns are there? 39.
39.
The common service providers in the towns of exports excellence are entitled for authorization under export promotion capital goods scheme. Tripur, Ludhiana, Panipat, Kannur, Karur, some of the towns under this category. Center to form FPOs. This is what? FPOs is more like the cooperative societies. This is really important.
So this is February current affairs.
Yes. Okay. Now, when I talk about it, again, can I revise this? What is 29 towns of par excellence? So what is going to happen? The Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Export is basically going to provide you all the assistance. They're going to market your goods. They're going to help you create a valuable chain through which you can sell your goods. Is it clear or not?
Outside India.
Outside India. That's the purpose. 750 crores is already generated. Center to form FFOs with small farmers. It's more like your cooperative societies. What is
It is related to agriculture, right?
Yes. Farmers produce organizations. It's one type of produce organization where the members are farmers, small farmers, agribusiness consortium, in providing support for promotion of FPOs. POs. POs means producer organization. Is a generic name for organization of producers. Example, any produce, agriculture, non-farm, artisan. Now, what are the essential features of PO? आपने कुछ नहीं करना, आपने group of producers को इकट्ठा कर देना. You'll get them into farm or non-farm activities. It's a registered body and legal entity. So you get them all together, we make it a registered body. Producers are shareholders in the organization. It's going to work like your what did I say? Cooperatives. It deals with business activities related to the primary product. Suppose I get all tomato owners together. So they'll create FPOs. It'll be a legal body. Second of all stakeholders will be a part of this organization. It works for the benefit of the member producers. A part of the profit is shared amongst the producers, and the rest will go to the expansion of the business. Is it clear or not?
Yeah.
Like Amul, how it expanded, right? That is what the government is actually now trying, because what had failed right now, if the 3 farm laws have failed, what the government is trying is now the FPOs. Is it clear or not? This is an augmentation of farmers' income to 2 times. What is the name of the digital currency? It's not come, but the government now says it's going to take out its own digital currency, which it is going to regulate. What would be the advantage to the government of regulating or to formulating its own digital currency? Can you give me advantages of it?
So people, they are buying cryptocurrency and other currencies from other countries. So instead they'll start buying from India itself.
Economy will
So it will boost
We
the
are not
economy.
interested. The government is interested, saying that I have to print notes. If in digital currency, I don't have to print notes.
Yeah. So
And then वो 30%
paperless
का tax भी
economy.
लगा रखा है उन्होंने.
So automatically your expenditure in printing notes is going to reduce. Secondly, when people are generally selling things on the web, they are using cryptocurrency. As I told you, what is everybody talking about? The next thing,
NFT.
Web 3.0.
Yes.
Where if I have to sell something, I don't need to go to a platform. Is to develop your own platform in which you are selling and buying. Where do you sell it and buy it? You're selling it through the
Internet.
digital currencies.
Internet.
Like NFT. How do you sell NFTs or buy NFTs? Which crypto is used maximum? Sol.
Dogecoin.
Sol, Ethereum. These are the ones.
Ethereum.
Okay. I'll share one NFT for you, which is very expensive. Just a picture of it.
Did you buy it?
Sorry?
Did you buy it, sir?
No, why would I buy it? I don't have that much money. The road.
Go buy Shiba.
You can buy parts of it also, na? Like you don't have to buy the whole thing, but you can buy
NFT is not like
a unit of it.
you must have not even heard of this. Board app NFT. Board ape.
No, I haven't heard of it.
Oh my god. This one.
So like this, they are so very right.
Yes, sir. Like there are millions right now of that same monkey.
So you get
It's
a
all a risky business. Whatever you buy, whatever you sell.
just let me send you something. This was sold for 2.8 million.
Even in metaverse, you can go build a house and sell it for $1 million.
Yeah.
There was a guy who sold it for $2 million, a mansion.
This is what the one was very expensive. 2.8. Board ape.
Sold to, I can still understand. Who are these people who are buying these things?
Millionaires.
Billionaire.
Why? Why? Give me money.
Property.
No, it's actually a very smart thing. So say for example, I tend to buy anything. So what I do is I just keep it stored, and if I suppose have to buy something from somebody without paying any taxes or something, I just convert or give them the NFT and take something from them. So that's the way you reduce your taxing. So basically everybody's trying to bypass the governments. The government will try to tax you. So what do they say? Okay, take this from me. So say for example, there is even in case of Bitcoin, say for example, I want to buy a property, I can buy somebody from Bitcoins. I don't have to pay the government how much money I pay.
That's one reason why the government's not very for.
The government is not very for.
They can't track it.
Yes, that's the purpose of it. Because the government does not able to tax it.
Yeah.
So the purpose is not that this is the way of creating more and more wealth for these people. But imagine a Bored Ape yacht, 2.8 million, just an NFT. I could put that NFT on my watch and just show it to anybody and nobody would even notice it. But that's 2.8 million, the watch price right now. or on your phone you can put it. So that's 2.8 million. That is your phone cost.
Phone.
Okay. Okay. Now that's what I said is crypto. You should know about it, like, because what is happening in case of cryptocurrency? What is happening?
Tax evasion.
Okay. So no, it's not tax evasion. What is the purpose of our countries making it? We say, okay. Secondly, the government has put how much taxes on crypto?
30%.
30%. How do they do it? So
They have their methods.
if they put it 30%, does it make it legalized? No. Can you give me examples of any such things where it is not still legal, but you put taxes?
It's not legal, and currently, if
All
you buy
tax.
through some apps, there are a few apps.
No, I'm
If you
saying,
buy-
listen. There could be certain things in the future which may not be legal, but still the government put taxes. Can you give me name of such things? Which
Toll
is
tax.
happening in a country. Sorry?
All tax.
No, not toll
Like-
tax. No. It's
There
horse
are some remote areas where
horse
people
racing.
just
Horse racing. So the government with taxes. But it could in the future cancel it out. Is it clear or not? So that's the purpose, is understand what is this central digital currency. Now, when I talk about digital currency, basically the government says we're going to make or mine our own coins. What is the advantage of having Indian cryptocurrency? Because it's not going to be affected by the digital changes of the world. What is the US? US has also manufactured its own digital currency. The US is known as?
The US was also supportive of cryptocurrency.
The US is not supportive. US says, okay, initially they were not supportive, but they say, okay, since you have it, so we'll also start taxing it now. You make profits, it's not a problem. But we are going to make taxes on it. That's the only thing. The government is of the issue. Like anybody, say for example, had a crypto and I want to buy something outside. What's my best purpose? Is to take a crypto, go outside, use that crypto to buy things. I don't have to take money, physical form.
Yeah.
So the government cannot even tax or do anything for it. That way, cryptos do help. And that's where the issue comes in. That's the reason why governments are very reluctant. China tried to control it, it will not control it. I forgot what is the name of the US. I think so. US Tether or something. I don't
Digital dollar.
Sorry.
Is it digital dollar? Because
Yeah, there's a digital dollar. There's a name for it, special.
oh,
Let me just find it out for you. So they have their own cryptocurrency, which is there.
RBI has recently come up with something with Paytm also.
it has
There
blocked.
are no more bank accounts related to Paytm.
Yeah.
No new bank accounts can come through. So Paytm stocks are gonna take a hit for it. No. There's this US currency, USD coin. It's already there. So if you bought USD coin, yeah, that's USD coin that is there already. So that's
equal to $1, right?
yeah, that's exactly a slight bit more than $1. It had also reached 138 at some point of time. It is a cryptocurrency only, but the point is that you don't require to do it. Okay, can I continue further?
Yes.
What is the technology used for creating cryptocurrency? Blockchain.
Blockchain.
Okay. Set up agriculture spending, boost farmer incomes. Now, basically, what is happening is the agriculture spending in India is comparatively lower as compared to other countries. What does agriculture orientation index means? This is going to be really important. It basically means the ratio between the government's spending towards agriculture and the sector's contribution to the GDP. India we rank 39th. That means agriculture is contributing more as compared to how much is the government spending on the agriculture. Is it clear or not? This is going to be very important. What is the agriculture orientation index?
But isn't that a good thing? Like more output, less input.
No, the point is the ratio between the government spending towards agriculture sector and the sector contributing to the GDP. We are still contributing more. If the government was to spend more on agriculture, this would boost more.
Okay. Yeah.
More income. India's index is one of the lowest, reflecting that the spending towards the agriculture sector is not commensurate with the sector's contribution towards GDP. Although the AOI has shown improvement since mid-2000s, India's AOI is the lowest in Asia. What is AOI?
Agriculture Orientation Index.
This is the government spending upon GDP
The
share of
sector.
agriculture. India's is lowest. India holds 30th rank in the world despite being an agrarian economy. What is green hydrogen? This is really important. The government is now functioning on green hydrogen and green ammonia. The Ministry of Power notified, this is important, green hydrogen, green ammonia policy to step closer to the major objectivity of shifting towards renewable energy resources. So it is not non-renewable, it will be, because what happens is hydrogen and ammonia are available air. So what we want to do is we convert. Going to be potential future fuels in replacing fossil fuels. Which are the two elements? Hydrogen and
ammonia.
Production of these fuels is considerable to be green because they ensure environmental sustainable energy security of the country. The National Hydrogen Mission was launched in 2021. India, the government meets a target of making India a green hydrogen hub with a capacity to produce 5 million tons of
By
green
2030.
hydrogen by 2030.
But sir, isn't extraction of hydrogen very difficult task?
It is very difficult. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to
But
push.
it is a very great fuel, right? It is used in rockets and everything.
Yes, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it more convenient and more specifically oriented for it. Like say, for example, the Indian batteries. Like the Indian scientists have taken out batteries which could be used from water, but the efficiencies have been really low.
Yeah.
So-
Hydrogen has a very high efficiency.
Yes. So
Right.
they have been trying to convert everything. So if we are able to do it by 2030, we'll actually.
Yeah, they have just promised it, right? Who
Yes.
knows?
Who knows whether it will happen or not.
Yeah.
Prime Minister Modi flags off 100 Kisan drones. I've already told you. What is the purpose of using drones?
Include
Insecticides, pesticides,
Pesticides, irrigation.
knowing about the crop. Yes or no?
To minimize human interaction.
demography.
Topography, so and so, crop damage assessment, crop yields, kaise ho sakta hai? Application, locust attacks, mapping, surveying, crop dusting, spraying, irrigation monitoring, crop health monitoring, and field soil analysis. The drone allows seizing soil data, field analysis. Iske liye government kya bol rahi hai? Government is offering incentives to any what do you call it? Startups related to drone technology for agriculture. Now, what had happened recently, you must have, let me go through the opposite actually. Have you heard of this person, Ramakrishna? Chitra Ramakrishna. She's a news every now and then.
Yes, she was caught in some scam, right?
She was not caught in the scam. She was saying that some yogi was asking me to give information.
Yes.
And she was the head of the NSE. What is NSE? National Stock.
National Stock Exchange.
It's the biggest stock exchange in India. What is Nifty or NSE Nifty 50?
Nifty Sensex.
The top 50 stocks
something.
which are traded in our country. It knows. Inki reports hoti hai, internal reports hoti hai ki where do you see a stock in 5 years from now and so and so. And then there is who controls it. This is after this scam. Harshad Mehta. Which organization came through? SEBI.
SEBI.
So what is SEBI? Securities and Exchange Board of India. It's a regulatory authority established under SEBI Act and the principal regulator for stock exchanges in India. SEBI's primary function includes protecting investor interests, promoting, regulating the Indian security market. कि फालतू में तो inflation नहीं हो रही, ये सब तो नहीं हो रहा. All financial intermediaries permitted by their respective regulators to participate in Indian security markets are governed by SEBI regulation, whether domestic or foreign.
Foreign.
Okay. What is this Nifty 50? So basically, she was saying Chitra Ramakrishnan ka ye hua tha that she was giving information to a yogi. She said some guy from Himalaya is asking for information, what is going to happen, so and so, whatever. That is what she said. God knows what is there. Now we come to the most important thing, the union budget. Okay, this is where I have to do a bit of economic terms. So we are going to discuss about PM Gati Shakti. We are going to discuss inclusive development. 4 priorities. Inclusive development क्या होता है? हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? सबका साथ सबका विकास. Like everybody gets developed. Everybody makes money. productivity enhancements and investments, sunrise opportunities, energy transition and climate change. Energy transition के लिए कौन सा बोला है? Green hydrogen, nitrogen,
And
climate change, and you're also talking about solar parks. Which country are we making the solar park in?
Sir?
India's biggest solar park outside. Which country?
Sri Lanka.
Financing of investments. Now, according to the economic survey, India is supposedly to grow at 9.2% amongst the highest of the large economies. What is capital expenditure? The amount of money that you'll be spending. The outlay for capital expenditure has stepped up sharply by 35.4%. We are spending more. From 5.4 lakh crore, we'll be spending 7.5 lakh crore in 2002-2023. The investment takes account with provisions made for creation of capital assets through grants and aid to state. Effective capital expenditure of central government is estimated at 10.68 lakh crores, which will be 4.1% of the GDP, the amount that we'll be spending. Now, these are the following things. There's a fiscal deficit, there's a revenue deficit. What's the difference between fiscal deficit and revenue deficit? Fiscal deficit is the amount of money that we are making.
Fiscal deficit.
Yeah, there's fiscal deficit and there's revenue deficit. So what is fiscal deficit? Is the amount of money that you're making minus the amount of expenditure that you have to do. This does not take in account of the money that you borrow. Revenue deficit is every day. If I need to spend 100, how much am I losing, or how much less money am I still spending? How much money do I require to actually maintain that gap? So right now, if we talk about it, 2020 was very high for every country. Fiscal deficit of India was 9.2. We are looking at it right now at 6.4%. How can we reduce fiscal deficit? Either spend less on social schemes. Second, क्या कर सकते हैं?
Save money.
How can you save money? You have to spend less. You have to pay loans. You cannot stop paying loans. What else can you do?
Increasing taxes.
Of course. So the government says, oh, we need to increase taxes. What's the third thing that you can do? Borrow. Is it clear or not?
But borrow करने से तो same you'll fall into a
fiscal deficit करेंगे हम, या फिर हम taxes increase कर देंगे, spending less कर देंगे, या borrowing कर देंगे थोड़ी देर के लिए, deficit reduce कर देंगे. कि borrow किसी से कर लिया, government surety से ही कर लिया. So these are the things. What is fiscal deficit? 6.4%, which is consistent broad path where we need to reach is 4.5% by 2025-66. Fiscal deficit is a shortfall in government income compared with its spending. The government that has a fiscal deficit is spending beyond its mean. The fiscal deficit is calculated as a percentage of GDP. Percentage of GDP. Suppose the Indian economy is at 100 rupees. That means you're 7 rupees you're borrowing every extra. Is it clear? Not of the year's budget, but percentage of GDP. This is the total Indian GDP that we're talking about. Or simply as a total rupees spent in excess of income. In either case, the income figure could includes only taxes and other revenues, excludes money borrowed to make up the shortfall. What's the fourth thing to reduce fiscal deficit? Another thing the government is doing this time around. What does the government do to reduce fiscal deficit? And this government has been doing it a lot. There's a lot of criticism related to it. Anybody?
So selling bonds and agriculture value.
Privatization. The government says CPU आपके वो हैं, state public units हैं, सब बेच दो. Like say for example, if we sell railways, we've already sold Air India. Which countries have initially had railways?
CC related Bombay plan भी आया था. Was it related to this?
No. That was different. Which country? Now let me explain. The government also defends something. Which country had its railways, airways, and everything sold off? It was initially under the government, and it had all sold off. Which country? Think. A full form acronym for an airways. British Airways.
UK?
UK was the first one to actually, it was
Japan also.
UK had it all under the state initially. Then they sold it off and made it very private. This is what they had done. So the fourth thing the government can do is disinvestment. The word is not privatization, it's actually disinvestment. Government बोलती है ये सब बिकेगा इतना पैसा आएगा हमारे पास तो हमारा ऑटोमेटिकली फिजिकल डेफिसिट कम हो जाएगा. एक होता है रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट. ये फिजिकल है. रेवेन्यू क्या है? डेली के खर्चे के लिए कितना आपका गैप रहेगा. Shows a shortage of funds with the government to maintain its day-to-day affairs. When total revenue expenditure exceeds total revenue receipts, it leads to revenue deficit. The center often resorts to borrowing, disinvestment to make up for this gap. Or what's the third thing? Introduction of new taxes. Has the government introduced any new taxes this year?
No.
No. Government has specifically said we are not introducing any new taxes except for the digital currency one. No new taxes have come. Okay, now for infrastructure, the most important thing is the Gati Shakti. Now, what are we doing in terms of roadways? How much kilometers are we planning to make? National highways? 25,000. 20,000 crores will be mobilized through innovative ways of financing, complement with public resources. So what are you saying? You're asking the people only to invest in government bonds. So you will be investing in making roads, and of course, whatever the tolls would be, from that the revenue you'll be getting it in terms of interest. Is it clear or not? Yes. Of the 35 model logistic parks, the government plans across the country, 4 will be awarded in the next fiscal. It is basically to facilitate faster movement of people and goods. That's your Gati Shakti. So one is roads. The second one is railways. For railways, what are you making? 400, which ones? Which trains?
Vande Bharat.
Vande Bharat. Which are the 2 routes in which the Vande Bharat train is running?
Lucknow, Delhi.
Delhi and Varanasi. And Delhi and Patra. That's in Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu mein. So you're running 2 trains. Which one? Delhi and Varanasi and Delhi and
Patra.
So what we say is 1.37 lakh crores with capital expenditure of 2.45 lakh crores. Budgetary allowance itna apne lagana hai. One station, one product. That means जो भी railway station पे एक जगह पे एक product specially GI tag कर देंगे कि ये यहाँ के लिए famous है. Adding to the revenue. 2,000 kilometers of railway network will brought under Kavach, the indigenous world-class technology for safety capacity augmentation in 2002. So basically, जितने भी आपके वो accidents होते हैं ना, उन सबको बंद करने के लिए.
Yeah.
Is it clear? Next, 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains. What's the speed of Vande Bharat?
300.
180 kilometers.
Once 300?
180. 180.
160 is 180. That's what you achieve.
Yeah.
It basically reduces your time 25 to 45% traveling time. What was it earlier called? Train 18. Right now there are only 4 trains. So basically you're saying 4 routes. And now you say, what is the general occupancy in this case? In Vande Bharat, it was 98%.
Sir, what is the mean of 400?
Sorry?
400 means?
400 trains. Basically, आप शताब्दी जितनी में उसको replace कर दोगे. That means you're transporting at 45% faster. No? गति शक्ति का मतलब ही आप जितना जल्दी ट्रांसपोर्ट करोगे उतना जल्दी होएगा. People are not going to use, what are you trying to say? People should not use roads. People should not use aircrafts. What you should use? Trains. So that is how you create revenue.
But sir, we see that this the cost of the ticket is actually more of the train than that of an aeroplane. A person can travel in the plane, right?
Yeah. So say how many seats are there? Let's say, but I don't know. It's the way the railways work. They kind of are demand. It's 1100. One cost of one ticket is around 2000. So you make approximately 20 lakh rupees in one journey.
Yeah.
3 trains running up and down. That's basically 6 journeys. 1.2 crores. 100 crores was the cost of the train. If you look at it logically, it should not make any loss. Like, say for example, even operating it for 200 days, you're going to be in profit.
So railway loss में क्यों चल रही है फिर?
There are a number of reasons for it. First of all, you have to pay pensions, you have to pay securities. There are so many things for it. We are not functioning properly. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. We're not functioning properly. But if you look at it, this is what you can actually make. Like in one journey. And there are 3 journeys per day, up and down. So they basically 20 lakhs into 6, 1.2 crores in a day. I don't understand how they're making losses even now.
Yes.
Okay, what are these trains? Now, what is interesting about Vande Bharat? Anybody?
It
Rotating
is the
chair,
fastest train.
5-5, rotating chair, and which are the bio toilets? That's the most important thing.
Window seat.
What are those things that they use in bio toilets? We did this.
Bacteria.
Bacteria.
Yes, good bacteria, which is basically the suction. These are basically, oh, surprisingly, these are not the proper bio toilets. These are suction-based bio toilets. So automatically, whatever, whether it the cigarette and everything that the people are still throwing, that keeps on getting sucked.
Like in airplanes.
Yeah. So basically, what is happening in other cases, what happens, it tends to get stuck. Then the bio toilet stopped working. So iska bhi unhone jugaad nikal diya. It has CCTV cameras opening up doors, and it had the LCDs, which surprisingly, the first journey a lot of people broke.
CCTV cameras? What?
CCTV cameras inside the trains.
Oh, I thought inside the
Toilet.
Trains itself. So you have everything within the train itself. 100 PM Gati Shakti cargo terminals for multimodal logistics will be set up during the next 3 years. The budget speech, okay, by 2047, right now we had how much percentage of population living in the urban areas?
13.7.
33%. So we expect by 2050, we'll have 50% of the population staying in the urban areas. So what we are looking for is how to make urban planning, urban economics, institutions who will make recommendations on policies, capacity building, planning, implementation, and governance, which I believe would be a failure, very honestly.
How are these things gonna go hand in hand with climate change and urbanization? And
Urbanization, I don't think so. India has only talked about urbanization and making skyscrapers. That's what we're talking about.
Another thing, our growth rate is very like when we were doing medical history, back then our urban population used to be 13%.
15%.
Yeah, 15%. And now it's only 33%. How are we going to get to 50% till 47? That's not possible.
Because if you see the growth rates of the nodal towns have started increasing. A lot of people have started migrating from villages to the cities itself.
Tier 2, Tier 3 cities.
It's actually Tier 1 cities have growing maximum. Tier 1 with all your satellite towns like NCR and all, they're growing much faster. For developing Indian specific knowledge in urban planning and design, and to deliver certificate training in these areas, up to 5 existing academic institutions in different regions will be designated as centers of excellence. The budget also proposed, this is the modernization of building bylaws, town planning schemes, and transit-orient development. So what do I mean by bylaws? You're saying that you can make more stories. Is it clear? Skyscrapers. That's what they basically say. We say the land is very limited. Now, when I talk about telecommunication, what we are saying, by 2022-23, we are implementing 5G. So that is for sure. And you're saying as a part of the scheme, of course, it's going to lead to more engineers getting employed into the sector, 3 telecom sectors. This will go a long way in enabling growth and generating employment opportunity. A scheme for designing manufacturing will be this. Okay, the National Ropeway Project, Parvatmala. You know this? What this is? This is basically in cooperation, like what we have in Switzerland and everything. Cable cars.
Yes.
Now you will be having
Trams.
cable cars going over the people's houses, because you know what happens in cities, especially in hilly areas, they're completely blocked up, so the roads are not there, and it takes a lot of time. So what they're saying is we'll be connecting you from one portion to another portion using the National Ropeway Development Project. How many ropeways are to be done? 8 ropeways, 60 kilometers in. And what is the purpose of it? Tourism. Secondly, environmental friendly. Third,
2 of them are there in Himachal itself, I think.
there is
Last
Sikkim, I think.
Himachal mein last aapka Timber Train. It was the first one also. Timber Train. It's there. So you're connecting the ropeways. So it's 60 kilometers of lengths that will be connected. 8. What is it known as? That's important. Parvatmala. They'll ask you what is Parvatmala. How many are there? 8. How many?
60 kilometers.
Okay. Budget allocation, the government for agriculture. Agriculture, mein, the budget has fallen down from 3.92 to what is AIO?
Agricultural Index.
Industrial.
What is it known as? Agriculture Index. How do we calculate it? Ratio of spending by the government upon the GDP. We're already 38 and we already reduced this. Chemical-free natural farming. Where are we focusing on it? 5 kilometer wide corridors along the river Ganga. The first stage. Is it clear or not? So which is the country which has gone all organic right now? Sri Lanka. So we are also shifting to organic. What is the purpose of us shifting to organic? We have overburdened stocks where in our reserves. When I say overburdened, we have so much of stocks that they are rotting. Where are they rotting? Where do we keep all our food grain stock?
Uske andar.
FCIs, Food Corporation of India.
Food storage facility.
Food storage facilities jahan pe hai. Grains and everything are rotting. The government is also aiming at integrating the chemical-free approach in a long-term policy by including it in the agriculture education curriculum. The center has sanctioned support of converting 4 lakh additional hectares of farmland in 8 states to this method. The scheme was sanctioned for the financial support under the Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, meant to promote organic farming and soil health, Vedic farming, ZBNF, and a host of other traditional methods. Kahan pe ho raha hai pehla corridor? Ganga ke around 5 kilometers corridor. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Like, किसान ड्रोन्स किसने लॉन्च की थी? प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कितनी लॉन्च की थी? 100. वही सेम चीज है. Is it clear or not? और इनकरेजिंग स्टार्टअप्स के लिए वो बोलते हैं जितने आप ड्रोन्स के लिए लेके आओगे हम आपको लोन्स हम देंगे, नबार्ड देगा, so you can start up your drones and everything and help the farmers in a PPP partnership, public private partnership. Mainstreaming millets, this is important. The government has announced support for post-harvest value addition, enhancing domestic consumption and for branding millet production nationally and internationally. 2023 has been announced previously as a year of millets. So basically we say we're going to increase our millet production, and what's most important, import of oil seeds. So for this oil seeds, what are we doing? We are growing what crop now? Palm oil. Any doubts with this, Sana?
No.
Medium sector, ये already question पूछा था इन्होंने. MSME का full form क्या होता है? Micro and small enterprises.
Small enterprises, yes.
That is what we are saying. So the government says for 130 micro and small enterprises, we'll be giving loans up from 5 lakh crore. That is what we've announced, with 50,000 crores extra to be given as loan to the MSMEs. Is it clear or not?
Yeah.
That's the thing for this. What are the schemes for it? This is what we call the RAMP program. Udyam, Ishram, NCS and Asim portals will be interlinked and given. Education के लिए government क्या कर रही है? ये सबसे important है ये वाला चीज. One class, one TV channel program. कौन सी app थी? PM with. This is really important. One class, one TV channel. So how many TV channels have been brought in? From 1200 to 200. This will enable all states to provide supplementary education in these languages from class 1 to 12. Is it clear or not? कौन सा है? App कौन सी है? E-Vidya.
PME Vidya.
PME Vidya. One class, one TV channel. The government aims to develop high quality e-content in all spoken languages. This is again the same thing. And a digital university will be established to provide access to students across the country for world-class quality universal education with a personalized learning experience at the doorstep. This will be made available in different Indian language and ICT formats. The digital university will be built on a network and hub and spoke model, which will have collaboration with best institutions in the country. So in one app, you're going to provide everything. E-Vidya is only for which one?
Not recent. This happened long time back also.
No, but they've not opened the digital university.
Acha.
They're saying we're going to open a digital university where we bring in all everything. वो बोलते नहीं है advertisement मेरे को समझ नहीं आता किसके आती है. You can do so and so courses out online. The government says
Unacademy.
Not Unacademy. This for heavier courses like your MBA types.
Oh, proper. These are proper courses like masters and bachelor's degrees that they're providing.
Yes. So that is what they're trying to do, which they have not started as of now.
Even recently, they were even talking about new education policy implementation of.
What is that new education policy?
2020 वाला जिसमें.
नहीं 2020 में नहीं अभी 2024.
2024.
2024 बोला हुआ क्या बोला हुआ है? You can combine arts with sciences.
Yeah. You can take any subjects you want.
Yes.
Coolest thing ever. So jealous.
That would be smart actually.
I mean, it was to be implemented this year.
But because of the pandemic, they had to shift the focus. It's 2024, then they'll be doing it.
They should have come up with these things like 100 years back, I think.
100 years back, Britishers wanted us to work like engineers, doctors.
20 years back, for all I care.
20 years back.
They should have been there while I was in school.
20 years back, they would have done it. They would have done it long time.
सिर्फ 2 year ही करते हैं सर बहुत है. अभी जो 2 year ही करते बैक बहुत है.
क्या हो गया?
2 year ही बैक हो जाए ना तो बहुत.
करते हैं. 2 years पर वो start the policy 6 से वो कर रहे हैं ना ये. It will start from 6 correct.
Class 6, you can choose any subject.
From class 6, they'll be doing it, not as of now. So you'll have. It's actually smart because you get to choose which are subject that you turn out to be good in.
मुझे लगा वहाँ के
जिंदगी में से आपका ही खत्म हो जाता मेरी.
कुछ नहीं होता अभी वो पहुंचे हुए हैं सब जितने भी अब जैसे अमेरिका में I'll tell you अमेरिका में जो डॉक्टर नहीं बनता वो पहुंच जाता है कैरेबियन आइलैंड्स. कैरेबियन आइलैंड्स में बहुत इजी है. मैं बोल रहा हूं
why aren't they changing syllabuses for UPSC exams then like
UPSC, the point is you are supposed to serve the people. Now, if you suppose you're an IS officer, you're a district collector, you'll have to look into the healthcare also. You'll have to look into the education also.
Okay, you tell me where if I get through and whatever, where am I going to use these things?
You're going to use it. You're going to use it because if you do not know the schemes, you do not know anything.
Yeah.
Say for example, when I say for example, the purpose of UPSC and especially current affairs is to know
current affairs still understandable awareness. I'm talking about the studying that we like the thorough studying of our history or
okay. Let me give you an example for it. So if you were an IRS officer, you could also be shifted to different places. Like say for example, you were shifted to Nimich, which is known for opium. If you do not know what opium is, what is it regulated for, how are you going to make policies on it?
You study on the job training भी तो होती है. अगर मेरे को जाना है तो I'll do my research and go ना. ऐसे
grow नहीं होता ना वो वही
बात में डाल के रखूं. तो उस time फिर मेरे को याद नहीं आएगा because my brain's already so full of.
And at that time also we'll have to research from where we are going.
वो तो research करना ही है, but if you for it, at least that's the point. Now you should know where are you going. They already know what the आसपास का area is like a bit. So at least you know what is there, what are the people growing, what could be done. Now, if you do not know beforehand where saffron is grown, how you can push it through, what is the purpose of going there and then researching for 1 year? When you research for 1 year and then your time comes, okay,
I feel like just 20 minutes back, I was thinking that saffron's grown in Rajasthan. But now I know
Yeah.
but now I know that it's in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh.
So now, if you know,
Everything's at the palm of my hand. I can just type it on Google and I'll get the answers to it.
okay, you type the answer, but then again, you know it.
There's
Like,
a loophole.
there is not like Google is not going to give you everything. It's how the people are, how the culture is, how everything is. So
Yeah, but
you already have
you didn't
GK
talk about the
GK का तो
culture
समझ
and
आता है
everything.
जीके का तो समझ आता है कि जरूरी है हर एक चीज के लिए, लेकिन मैथ्स का क्या है? 11th 12th का मैथ वैसे ही करा रहे हैं ये।
आर्किटेक्ट थोड़ी ना बनना है मैथ्स।
एप्टीट्यूड है ना,
तो फौज में जाके वैसे ही यस सर करना है, इतनी
नहीं,
जानकारी
एप्टीट्यूड तो है ही है। एप्टीट्यूड नहीं होगा तो आप कैसे पास होगे?
Answer then okay, GK is understandable, but history, Mughal empires.
वो तो that all comes under GK only.
That is art and culture. That is your
वो
art
तो
and
चलो
Art and
बताते हैं
culture.
ना कि क्या हो
Now
रहा है,
you'll say,
क्या चल रहा
now
था
you'll say
पहले।
that I need to go
Competition
some place and I need to know the art and culture of that place.
No, the point here is, like, say for example, the people who are not got out of that area, they expect you to actually have read everything through the books itself. And when you come down, you are so knowledgeable, you have that entire feedback of the area. Those people who are staying there have not gone outside. How do you make them understand this is what is going to help you? That is the purpose of it, actually, for a civil servant.
Very true.
Yes.
That is actually correct. But the point here is, right now, the civil services has got a bit problematic because the civil servants don't get out of their chairs. They need to actually move around the area to see the basic problem, what is happening at the ground root level. They're making all the policies sitting on the chair. So that is where it becomes a problem. Okay, skill and vocational training. So what the government is started, which is the app for it? For you can go into first and 12th class.
E-Vidya.
E-Vidya. So how many of you actually used it for learning mathematics? Now say. Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
We have got good teachers, so we don't need even.
That's what I said, right? So now you know
Yeah.
it, but you can still use it.
And sir, this
See, I'll tell you what, we haven't used it because I had no idea about this thing.
yeah.
So
But
the
this
was there.
E-Vidya
Now
thing
I
is
do.
for regional and so this E-Vidya is things for the poor people and regional things, right? So they don't have that much of technology and
That's it.
smartphones.
So we didn't open our textbook. How can we even open these apps?
So that's, but you were saying you have Google. You have
Exactly.
नहीं
No.
सर, but जिसके लिए बना है वो तो
Hey,
यूज नहीं कर पा रहा है
the
ना.
point of this is when you need something, you get it done. जब चाहिए ही नहीं तो फालतू में क्यों ऐसे ही
अच्छा, NFT कैसे करोगे फिर तुम अगर पता ही नहीं है? What is the purpose of NFT? If you don't read it in detail, how do you know it? अगर okay, listen, I'm not, मेरे को आर्ट का कुछ नहीं समझ आता. अगर मैं बहुत अमीर हूँ, मैं आर्ट खरीद के बैठ जाऊंगा.
हाँ
उसका पर्पस यही है बिकॉज मेरे को वैल्यूएशन बढ़ाना है.
हाँ
एंड मेरे को गवर्नमेंट टैक्स ना करते. दैट्स इट. तो वो इस लेवल पे सोच रहे हैं. आप जब तक पढ़ोगे नहीं तो आपको उस लेवल तक समझ ही कैसे आएगा?
सर बट जिस चीज जिनके लिए बना है उनके पास तो स्मार्टफोन्स भी नहीं है. वो कैसे ई-विद्या यूज करेंगे?
वो तो गवर्नमेंट पे है ना. तो वो क्या करते हैं, जैसे मैं देखो एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. पंजाब में स्कूल्स में क्या कर दिया, बाहर लगा दिया स्मार्ट.
सर कैप्टन फोन मांग रहा था ना.
पहले गवर्नमेंट फोन तो बांटे सबको, फिर ये ई-विद्या निकालो ना.
तो एक वो जब कैप्टन ने फोन नहीं दिया, बेचारे को हरा दिया हमारे पंजाब में. ये गलत किया.
नहीं सर फोन तो बांटे थे लेकिन चार्जर नहीं दिया साथ में. बैटरी खत्म हो गई.
किसको दिया है? मेरे को तो किसी को नहीं पता किसी को दिया.
सरकारी स्कूलों में बांटे हैं सर लड़कियों को. सच में सर.
कितने बांटे थे उसमें?
हमारे साथ में एक जो विलेज है उसमें मे बी 300-400 फोन आए थे.
अच्छा.
लावा के.
वेरी गुड.
आए तो सही ना.
आए
वो भी इतनी बड़ी कंपनी के सर. लावा
तो कुछ तो आए ना. स्मार्ट
तो आया. गवर्नमेंट उतना ही दे सकती है. गवर्नमेंट उतना ही दे सकती है लावा तक.
ये तो रही है ना. देखो सोचो.
मेरे को तो जियो लग रहा था बट लावा इट्स गुड.
Okay. The budget announced the launch of Deshe Stack portal. It envisages a digital ecosystem of skilling and livelihood where citizens can skill, reskill, upskill through online training. This is again there. 750 virtual labs in science and mathematics. 75 skilling e-labs for stimulated learning environment to be set up. upgrading. This is all related to education, vocational skills. To do it, you can do it with that. Upgrading Anganwadis. 2 lakh Anganwadis across the country will be upgraded. New generation Anganwadis with better infrastructure, audiovisual aids, and providing an improved environment for early child development will be the focus.
Anganwadis is what?
Focus for children, for generally for women and for children. Generally, the lactating women or women who are pregnant, for them that's the Anganwadi workers. For basic healthcare also.
Okay.
सर यहाँ पे छोटा बच्चा सबसे पहले जाता है, वही
Yes.
होता है.
Yes. There has been 16% hike in healthcare sector allocation. सबसे ज्यादा किसमें हुआ है? प्रधानमंत्री आयुष्मान भारत योजना. How much is it? How much is it? 5 lakh rupees insured for a family. This is not for primary, but for secondary and tertiary healthcare. It's also available for private as well as government facilities. Under Ayushman Digital Mission, an open platform for the national digital health ecosystem. What is this? So basically, what they're going to do is now they're going to create an online record, just like PAN cards. So all your data, whatever you've done. So abhi kya hota hai government hospitals mein, but that's something that's what they've done is smarter. So if you make a registration ID, us registration ID mein jitni bhi aapki problems hai already aa jati. That's for government hospitals. But what they're doing is now they're going to create a card in which all your basic आज तक क्या operations हुए हैं, क्या हुआ है, वो सब एक card में आ जाए. Is it clear or not? So say for example, वो patient से पूछते हैं ना पहले क्या problem है, क्या कौन सी medicines पे हो, वो सब आपका इस card में आ जाए. So the patient would always be easier.
सर बाद में जब नए बनाते हैं
ये last year भी आया था, पर इस पे ज़्यादा focus कर रहे हैं. वानी का tele mental health program, ये specially villages के लिए, because उनको mental health का पता ही नहीं है.
Yeah.
तो
सर ये बाद में नए बनाने पड़ते होंगे, क्योंकि जब एक किसी ने भी बना लिया, अगर उसके बाद उसका कोई ऑपरेशन वगैरह हुआ तो उसको नया बनाना पड़ता है.
उसी के अंदर अपडेट हो जाएगा.
Information feed हो जाएगी ना. It's like an electronic thing.
Electronic card है. First तूने ये कराया, second तेरा ये आया, third तेरा ये आया.
और पैन कार्ड और आधार कार्ड वैसा हो जाएगा.
पूरा तेरा वो रहेगा. So what they did, recognizing the mental health problems accentuated by the pandemic, a national tele mental health program has been. ये especially किसके लिए? For village people, because उनके लिए access available नहीं है. And we see still better. What is Ayush mission? What is Ayush first of all? A for
Ayurvedic.
Ayurveda. Y.
Yoga. I wasn't sure of that.
This is Greek. Unani.
Unani.
S. Siddha. H. एक ही रह गया. Medicine, simple, सबसे easy medicine खानी.
Homeopathy. Homeopathy.
That's all. So basically, Ayush mission. This is really important because the government has been focusing a lot on this.
Patanjali comes under this Ayush mission. Right?
Yes. A. Ayurveda. U.
Yoga.
Unani. Unani is basically Greek. And S.
Homeopathy.
H. Homeopathy. Cost-effective Ayush services under the National Ayush Mission received a major boost in the budget. The increased allocation of NAM will help to upgrade hospitals and dispensaries, support the cultivation of medicinal plants in other areas, including increase in export value items of the medicinal plants. This is where government,
This is one NAM. There is another NAM also.
line movement. वो अलग है. Okay. Now, when I say defense sector, we are saying we're going to take more expenditures, or the more money that we're going to spend is from our own capital procurement. From domestic sector will increase from 58% to 68%. So we are not going. We were third largest initially. What? Second largest importers of weapons.
Yep.
We are trying to change that to become exporters. First BrahMos given to whom?
Philippines.
Is it clear? कल BrahMos misfire भी कर दी हमने थोड़ी सी.
Not misfire, sir. If it were misfire, then it shouldn't have went 120 kilometers.
It was a proper strategy. They're making this up. This is a cover story.
Yes.
There's a backstory to this.
And BrahMos has a self-destruct this thing.
thing in it.
अगर है भी तो how were they that careless at that level to have fired a missile to
Yeah.
Pakistan of all the places?
So we were looking for World War III to happen, did not happen.
मतलब
सर
कुछ
वो
नहीं करेंगे।
वियतनाम भी मांग रहा है ना सर वो।
Yes, हम तो World War III start करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे। हमने बोला यूक्रेन और वो चल ही रहा है, चलो let's
अब
start.
हम भी दिखा देते हैं, चलो हम न्यूज में क्यों ना है।
खत्म हो गया ना।
ये सर न्यू ईयर
यूक्रेन
लाहौर
खत्म
में
हो गया।
मनाएंगे, मजा आएंगे।
I mean, Putin should have said that even I was testing something on Ukraine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
होना ही नहीं होना।
Sorry.
But that's really funny because what we did, like, it is generally and shows that how it's basically to show how Pakistan is pretty weak right now.
It's a direct act of war, sir.
It's a direct act of war, especially a missile. Thankfully, nobody died actually. Yeah, but वही बोल रहा हूँ, ये target भी देखो कहाँ पे बिल्कुल ये वो misfire होगी, misfire सी में नहीं हुई, सीधा उनके एरिया में जाके हुई। वैसे ही उनको कुछ पता नहीं लगता, अमेरिकन चॉपर्स उनके अंदर आके मार मूर के चले जाते हैं, उनको कुछ पता नहीं लगता। बाद में
Sleep tight, PAF is awake.
बस सही मजाक नहीं कर रहा। They came to know, especially when जब कोई लोकल पुलिस वाले उधर गए कि पटाखे क्यों बज रहे हैं। That's how
They always sleep, sir.
उसामा बिन लादेन मर गया उन्हें, उनके रेडार सिस्टम कर क्या रहे थे मेरे को आज तक नहीं पता, कुछ नहीं कर रहे थे उनके। एंड सबसे ज्यादा बेइज्जती तो इनके लिए वो है, इमरान खान को चिट्ठी आ जाती है यूरोपियन यूनियन से, यू ब्लडी हाउ डेयर यू रिजेक्ट। he goes on to say that इंडिया को तो तुम चिट्ठी नहीं लिखते, इंडिया हमारे को क्यों लिख रहे हो। That's a really insulting thing. Well, it's insulting. Do you understand? European Union will that me.
Joke for a nation. Why are they still a nation? I don't understand.
I have they हर किसी से लोन मांगने चले जाते हैं। आज पैसा नहीं, आज पैसा मिलेगा।
और लड़ाई होगी
when
तो
the
बस हम
war
तुम्हारा लोन
started,
नहीं
that-
चुकाएंगे।
अरे
लड़ाई होगी किसी नेशन से, हम तुम्हारा लोन नहीं चुकाएंगे, जाओ कर लो।
जाओ कर लो।
और उनके पास कोई दूसरी बात ही नहीं है।
It's a really funny country by the way. क्या करें? North East Development. North East Development के लिए कौन सा था? Divine. PM Development Initiative of North East.
Northeast.
क्लियर? इसमें सबसे ज्यादा किस पर इम्पोर्टेंस दी जा रही है?
Shakti.
Shakti. Banking sector and digital economy. 2022, 100% of 5 lakh post offices will come under core banking. Core banking, that means basic facilities किसको मिलेगी? Post offices सबसे पहले क्यों लगे? Because post offices were available in each village. That's why all the core banking facilities will now be provided in post offices. Any doubts with this or not? Senior citizen rural areas enabling interoperability and financial inclusions. 75% has proposed to be set up as 75 digital bank units in 75 districts of the country by scheduled commercial banks. Digital rupee aane wala hai, that's what they said. Transition to a carbon neutral 280 gigawatts of solar capacity by 2030 is given in this budget. किसके साथ हम, एक तो मैंने I told you already एक country के साथ कर रहे हैं, कौन सी? Sri Lanka. Additional allocation of 19,400 crores for production link initiative for manufacturing of high efficiency modules. जो अभी modules हैं उससे भी ज्यादा high करने के लिए कौन से metals पड़ते हैं इसमें? PV में. I want to ask.
Silicon, semiconductor.
Germanium
And silver.
Silver
Sheets are also put in.
So, but yesterday a report came that there wasn't enough power to even light up a street lamp in Sri Lanka.
Because we are doing it right now.
Oh.
We have to do it. Now the relationship with the Lankan nation has become very good because they've also gotten very back there.
Yes.
Which is now the budget makes proposal used to 5% to 7% biomass pellets in thermal power plants. It also proposes 4 pilot projects for coal gasification and conversion of coal into other useful chemicals. So we are converting from thermal power plants to gas. Sovereign green bonds, government issue करती है, will be issued for mobilizing resources of green infrastructure. The proceeds will be deployed in public sector projects with the help in reducing the carbon intensity. This is something that's going to be really smart. Battery swap policy. So say for example, I'm going to a charging station. So they say, okay, listen, it's going to take so much time for charging. Here's a charge battery, take this, give your battery.
Oh.
So that's what the really smart thing that they're doing is battery swap policy at EV charging stations, right? So rather than taking that much time, so they're trying to make it faster and faster. Now, for ease of doing business, what are they doing? Reforms in custom administration of special economic zones will be undertaken and shall henceforth be fully IT driven and function of the customs national portals with the focus on high facilitation with only risk-based checks. What you're trying to do is custom administration के लिए आपने कौन सी ऐप बना दी? CPACE. With process re-engineering, which established to facilitate speed up voluntary binding up of companies for currently required 2 years to less than 2 years. So say, for example, if it's a Ford, what do? You go through CPACE. So rather than taking 2 years, it will be done in 6 months. So what are you going to do in 6 months? Why is the government doing CPACE? So suppose the Ford plants are going to go to no use. Those plants will be sold to another company. So they can start manufacturing there. अभी क्या होता है वो process को बहुत time लग जाता है. So they say within 6 months we'll make sure that you do it. Which is the app for it? What are they making it for it? CPACE. Startups will be promoted to facilitate drone Shakti and drone as a service. Which country is starting drones for transportation?
America.
European.
Think. Which country?
America.
Dubai.
They're already starting it very soon. So it's an automated service. You sit down, you go there, 10, 20 dirhams, whatever you pay, you're taken to the other direction. There'll be a 4% pod, which they're already going to start very soon. Which is the latest building that they made? Museum of Dubai. Anyone? Have you heard of it? The latest building of Dubai.
So the one they are making bigger than Burj Khalifa.
Museum of Innovation. Have you heard of it? Already open.
Waterfalls thing.
No. It's now open. Let me just send it to you. Museum of the Future. Sorry?
Most beautiful building.
Yeah, it's most creative and they have made it very nicely and inside is like way too creative building.
Even India का कुछ exhibit हुआ था ना?
Yeah, Museum of Future. That's where they're showing all this. Now, what is the government doing in budget to make your life easier? E-chip, issuance of chip embedded e-passports. It will not be pages, it will just be one page. Is it clear or not? So whatever your travel history is, you don't have to carry it and everything. Borders village with sparse population will be now connected with renewable energy infrastructure roads. This is in accordance with which country? China. Because China is creating all this. Just see, it's a Museum of Future ka inside dekho. It's amazing. What they've tried to create is what they're looking into the future. The budget emphasizes digitalization of manual processes and interventions, integration of central and state level systems through IT bridges, and single point of access of all citizen-centric services and standardization overlapping compliances. So what the government is doing is digitization. What does digitization mean? So all your apps and everything would be coming under one thing. What else has been recently added to your this thing? The app which you show for your passport. Sorry, for your driving license and everything.
Manga.
No.
DigiLocker.
What has been added in DigiLocker? Your 12th certificate, your 10th certificate, your
Project
certificate, everything has been added.
CBSE.
CBSE has been added now. The DigiLocker has now CBSE marks also. Your everything. You don't
RC, PAN card, everything.
Everything we can say within DigiLocker. We don't have to carry documents.
CBSE वाला पहला पोर्टल था जो लास्ट पोर्टल है जो ऐड हुआ है so आपके 12th की certificate, your 10th के certificates, everything have been added to this. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Stay. This is something, that is what I mean by it. This is what they're doing in terms of IT bridges. Say adding everything. Similarly, for your paying bills, what are they doing? E-Sampark. So everything under one roof. You don't have to go outside actually. So that's what do they mean by it. Tax policy, as I said, it was be no taxes, nothing. And secondly, इन्होंने क्या बोल दिया कि अगर मैंने पिछले 2 साल में कोई ऐसे taxes थे जो मैंने evade किए हैं या फिर मैंने नहीं बताया, this is something I can pay. Is it clear? So say for example, you forgot to tell a 2 lakh income which you were not able to explain it. So now this is something that we have to do. And similarly, extra tax for 30%. What is Parvatmala? We've already discussed it. 8. Which bridge?
The ropeways.
8 ropeway length of
ropeways
60
of 60 kilometers. Yeah.
सर हिमाचल में है ना ये?
हिमाचल में ऑलरेडी है 8 जगह पे, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में एरिया में आना है। वंदे भारत ट्रेन्स का क्या था?
180 kilometer fastest speed.
Yeah.
Okay, Eastern Bridge. This is of Air Force, Indian Air Force and Oman. Biennial means after every 2 years. This year was Air Force. उससे पहले ये already आ चुका है.
Naseem Al-Bahar.
ये already आ चुका है.
This is
naval exercise with Oman.
Yeah.
Al-Nagar Army. So which is the one right now? Eastern Bridge. किसका है?
Air Force.
Air Force. Why is Oman important to us? Because इसने कौन सा हमें port दिया हुआ है for traveling and everything for a navy?
About
Djibouti कहाँ से? Djibouti is with China.
Gulf of
Pakam port. So that is what we helps us keep a control over China, right? Winter Olympics. What did India do in Winter Olympics? It boycotted it or it was a diplomatic?
No, it participated.
What is
Arif Khan
boycott?
meant. It's like not attending the.
All the big dignitaries are not going to go.
Yeah.
All the dignitaries are not going to
People are gonna go.
Sorry?
Chotu insignificant people.
Yeah, so the VVIPs are not going to go. Which are the countries which did it? Except for India. Which are the countries? US was the first one to start with it. Then all the European unions followed.
But still they participated, right?